How important is building a team in business? When I was in the initial stages of my brand Plor and we were doing around 2 to 3 lakh or 5 lakh rupees per month, even 6 lakh rupees per month, we were very skeptical of getting in team members. Basically, I'm the founder of the brand Plor, and me along my with my brand strategist Aftab, we both used to ponder on this particular thought on how to procure people, and is procuring people really that important? And you might be someone who is facing with the same problem, because when you are doing such low revenues, 3 lakh per month, 4 lakh per month, or even 5 lakh per month, you have this dilemma on whether to hire someone or not, because you do not tend to understand the most important aspect of hiring someone. An employee slash team member is the biggest ROI for a brand. I never call my uh, employee as employee. I consider them as team members. We all of us work together. Why hiring people is important, and is it worth it or not? And understanding the fact that a team member is the biggest ROI was the most important lesson and the hardest lesson that I had to learn. The most important problem that I faced was the particular problem in which I said to myself that I had trust on my skills. I am the one who could do this in the best possible manner. And that is where you get fucked. I mean, this is what most business owners think. Why you might have, this is why you are on this particular video still, because you think you are the master of your particular trade and you know what's best for your particular job role, and you don't want to delegate that to someone else, and that is where things start slipping off of your hands, and that is not what you want. And along this process, you tend to overlook the fact that you become the jack of all trades and master of none. You know how to perform tasks, many tasks in very mediocre scale, but you are no master at doing one particular task, which takes the whole brand down. I introduced a team member, me myself, and I saw a productivity plus revenue hike. Believe you me, this is the biggest lesson that I've learned. Every particular team member can add up to 5 to 6 lakh, even 10 lakh rupees in your monthly revenue just by adding them, just by procuring the correct team member. Now, I learned some pretty important lessons along the way, which I'm gonna give away all for free in this particular video. So consider this a gift from my end. Now, the most important thing is figuring out, do you actually need a team member? You should list down the areas in businesses where most of your time goes. Just think about that. When you are running your business on a daily basis, where is the most amount of time that you are spending at? What is the most amount of time that you are spending at? Does it take away from your time? Are you able to spend time on some other stuff? Are you spending too much time in doing your taxes, or are you spending too much time in editing your photographs, or doing SEO for your website? And is this the right time to hire a person who would do that for you? So you need to create a list of the tasks that you perform on a daily basis. And if you think that there are no more than 3 tasks on a daily basis, you can compile a list of tasks for the whole week. The list of tasks that you perform for the whole week, that could be procuring raw materials, because I was also the one who was procuring the raw materials, because I wanted to save even 100 rupee on not spending on logistics. Now I have a couple of people who get the raw materials in for me for our factory and for our brand, but this was our mindset and this is how we worked. But realizing if that is taking a big chunk of your time, you need to delegate that to someone else. Number two, if you delegate that part to someone, what would happen? You need to reverse engineer and you need to forecast. I mean, first you need to forecast. This is the ideal team member that I want, and then you need to reverse engineer. How would I get that person? Or if I get that person, what would be the impact of that person on the business? That is very important. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that the person lied on their CV, which happens with us all the time, which happens with our clients all the time. I mean, we cannot judge people. All we can do is see the CV, take the interview. They could bluff about a couple of things here and there. We cannot just ask them to give a 3-hour exam, a 3-hour assignment, we do that. I have had clients who were facing issues with hiring, and we have had a particular systems and operations manual set for them, which so that they could get better team members who are trustworthy. So you need to think, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is that they lie on the resume or their CV and you need to fire them. So fire them. That is why the line has been coined. That is why this metaphor has been coined. Hire slow, fire fast. But in our case, it's hire fast and fire fast. And in the process of hiring fast, you need to make quick and solid decisions so that hiring fast does not go wrong. Now, number 3 is, how much money are you willing to spend on that particular skill set? This is a very important thing that you need to figure out. How much money are you willing to spend? How much time are you able to save by hiring that particular person? And if you hire that particular person, the money that you're going to give, is it worth it? You need to figure that out. You need to figure out, like, for example, you are doing your own taxes and you're spending, let's say, 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours every week to compile your bills, to tally the balance sheet, to update everything, and you giving a couple of $1,000 per month to a chartered accountant or an accountant. Even an accountant can also tally balance sheets. Does spending that 2 to 3,000 rupees per month, or let's say 4,000 rupees per month, is more permissible? Because it has been very evident with our clients. When they started delegating their tasks, and then when they started saving their hours per week, they started delegating that same hours to, let's say, content creation. They, as founders, started introducing themselves on videos, and those videos went viral, and those brought in 50 sales or 100 sales, and those 100 sales each sale had an average order value of, let's say, 2,000 rupees. So that 100 sales amassed to such a big number. That is how they were able to procure that 4,000 rupees spent on an intern or a person who is doing your taxes. You get what I'm trying to make? You get the point what I'm trying to make. So you need to understand that. Number 4, as soon as you shift from that position, delegate someone and repeat this process. For example, you delegate your taxes to someone else. You move to a new position of content management or content shooting or posting on social media. You find that there is something else. Your business has grown, the graph has grown, and now it's plateaued again because you have not been able to focus on other stuff. Now you hire another person with the profits that you have been getting in, or the revenue you have been getting in, and you move away from that social media position or shooting the video position, and then you move on to some other position. And that is how your brand grows. That is how your stuff grows. So that is very important. Now, what is the process of hiring? How do you hire? Firstly, we'll have to make this clear that who should you hire. So for that, I'm going to go with a couple of points which I have jotted down right here. An extremely new fresher. The fresher can be unpaid, but you promise them an experience, or you promise them a payment after the probation period. Have a deal with them. Let's assume, hey man, you're a fresher, you do not have a very wide array of skill set, but you could help me out in the business, because when your business is small, below 10 lakh rupees, the margin of error is way too much. I mean, you can make errors, but you can still get away with it. But that does not happen as the business start capping, or the business start growing. So you have a conversation with them, sit them down over a cup of tea or over a cup of coffee, whatever suits you, and let them know, be honest, that you are a fresher, you are having these particular skill sets. I do need those skill sets, but I need you to learn more so that we both could benefit more. Show them a vision, show them the experience that they are going to learn with you being an entrepreneur, going to help them learn with new skill set. Or you can give them an offer wherein they work 2 months on a probationary period, and after that probationary period they would work on a stipend or a salary basis. Number 2, an intern from college who are semi paid and then stipend increase based on performance. This is how we were doing 10 to 15 lakhs when we were doing 10 to 15 lakhs in Plor, we were spending just under 40,000 on the salaries, 30 to 40,000, and we were having 4 to 5 people on the brand, 6 people on the brand working for us, and they were pretty good because they were working on stipend basis, and as soon as they gave good results, we used to give them incentives, or we used to increase their stipend. And by increasing the stipend, I don't mean increasing the stipend by 200 or 300 rupees. I mean, if you're paying someone, an intern who is work from home, part-time, not sitting their asses down the whole day, you're paying them 5,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees per month, and they are performing good, you double their stipend to 14,000 rupees because they have increased your revenue, or give them 14 plus incentives or 10 plus incentives, whatever suits you. Number 3 is high quality people. Now, high quality people comes with this particular nuance. They ask pretty high salaries. They might ask salaries which are way above industry standard, or even if they are industry standard, those might loosen up your pockets, and you don't want that, So either you can give them basic salary, or you can give a small pie, a small piece of cake, a small chunk of the pie. You can give them a small part of your equity to retain them. That is how very big brands have been functioning. Gymshark, Steve Hibbett, as soon as he came in, he was given a salary. He was working as the creative director or something in Adidas. He would have been getting a very, very fat salary back there at the company which he was working at now. Ben Francis, the CEO and founder back then of Gymshark, asked him to come and take over. He has to give him a very big piece of salary, but they gave them a salary which might be industry standard and a percentage of equity for Gymshark, and that is what worked for them. So that is what you can do as well. Now, after hiring, the most important thing, and this is where most people stuck. Fortunately, I'm the one who, when a team member is not performing up to the mark, I'm the one who loves doing this, which is firing. Firing is the biggest problem that people face because they're pretty introvert, or even extroverts face this problem because they don't want to mess up the minds of the person in front of them. They want to have a very good relationship with them, and that is why they keep stretching that particular team member for ages, and the team member pulls the whole company, the brand, or the team down. So you need to observe and then conclude. And the conclusion is conclusion. That is the final call. You do not take a step back. If you think that this person needs to be fired, they need to be fired. You have to be pretty clear, even if they give you deadlines. Because when your organization is small, you're a small D2C brand or a business, or any business, be it service-based, digital product, physical product. When you're small, the team members tend to argue on why they are being fired. And if you are not clear and up with your conclusions, and if you have not concluded that you need to fire them, your mind says that you should be firing them. The logical part of your soul says you need to fire them, but the emotional part of the soul is pretty resilient or pretty skeptical because the person in front of you is retaliating of them being fired. So you need to stand your ground first. Number 2, if you think that they are not performing well, but they had been performing well, but their performance is going down since the past couple of days, couple of months, or couple of weeks, you can lend out your hand and ask them if something's going wrong, if they're having some personal issues, not pressing too much on what their personal issue is because that is their personal matter, but trying to help them out. This is how you do stuff. Trying to ask them for any sort of help that you as a business owner or the boss or the team lead can provide to them. So you should be doing that. Number 3, how to know that you need to fire someone. So back at Plore, we had this lady who was in her mid 40s, who was at this managerial position in the CRM backend. She had a very extravagant or very illustrious career spanning over a decade. We got her in and we were pretty excited. But the issue was she was just trying to show off. You should be well aware of people who are just there to show off, who are just trying to make fucking a plethora of Excel sheets, who are just trying to, have meetings all day, every day, and just wasting the time of each and every team member. You need to figure those people out. So that lady came in, and the first day of the job, the whole day she didn't do anything. 4 p.m. was the meeting with the founders. Till 12 p.m. she didn't do anything, and I had to nudge her on what's the status of the work. And then she started, I was waiting for the team members to reply. I'm like, fuck, you are the team manager. You are the team lead now. You are the one responsible for nudging the team members. And if I have to nudge you every other day, then that's a red flag. So that was the first red flag. So I work on a 3 red flag basis. That was the first red flag. The second red flag was, couple of days before was the orientation session, in which we discussed that after talking with all the 4-5 CRM team members, she'd have to report to us, the founders, at around 4 p.m. This lady started having meetings with the CRM team at 4 p.m. itself. And 4 p.m. was meant to be our time. And she was having individual meets with each and every CRM team member, which was a fucking waste of time. This was like a Viva back at our schools, wherein every other student was called in or Viva when COVID was going around. You are having a Google Meet, roll number wise, students come in and they go through the Viva process. And what she asked? She just asked them what's their timing, what's the availability, and how are they handling the CRM position. This is what she did the whole fucking day. She was just compiling Excel sheets of timing of a particular Excel sheet for each and every individual CRM team member, which was a waste of time. I fired her the same exact day because she didn't report to us, which she was meant to do at 4 p.m. She wasted our time. She was not a perfect fit. With that being said, as a young founder, it is very important to stay authoritative. Else you'd be messed up. Since she was a lady in her mid 40s, she thought us to be young founders and founders who could be suppressed because she having better experience than ours would turn out to be better than us. Obviously, you don't want that. You're the founder of the brand. You're the founder of the business. You are the one who is in charge. You're the boss. You are welcoming that particular team member into your world. They are not welcoming you in their world. Obviously, you should be available to help them out whenever they need that. But, you need to draw that line. That is very important. And if some team member, even after giving couple of warnings, third warning, even if they are continuing with the same behavior, just fire them. So I work on a 3 strike basis. Second strike, third strike, and you're off. First strike, I correct them. This is your first strike. I correct you. Second strike, I give you a warning. Third strike, you are out. No more arguments. No more my story, your story. You're out. I do not need to, elaborate what went wrong between us. So now, what's the hiring process? Because this is the most important part that many of the business owners neglect, to be honest. The trial, training, probation period to get to know the person. There should be a probation period or a trial period or a training period, and you need to get to know that person because people are lying north and south on their CVs. You cannot know a person. I mean, I'll not ask you to sit your ass down and take a 3 hour, 4 hour, but long interview come along with an assessment, along with an examination to test their skill set. They can lie on that as well. You can only know about a person during the probation period or even the first 5 days of them doing the job. You need to know that person. Do not offer the job letter. Do not offer the offer letter, joining letter without the training period, and keep that training period unpaid because you're just testing them out. Number two, a letter with all the terms and conditions before they start. Make a letter with all the terms and conditions. Revise that in the training period if you want. And whilst you guys are going through the letter, the joining letter, do not do this mistake of not recording the particular transaction. You have to record that particular conversation. If they are coming in your office, like whenever someone comes into our office for an interview, for signing the joining letter, we make sure to record our particular conversation so that they cannot switch things up when they are confronted during the firing process. And you let them know that this is being recorded for this purposes. If they have work from home, then you can obviously record Google Meets and Zoom Meets. Zoom has inbuilt recording. Google Meet can be recorded via OBS Studio or some online screen recording, software. I use Ice Cream screen recorder when I was using my Windows. MacBook has many. Apple has many other applications which you can use. Now, there comes another problem that many business owners face. And this was a problem. One of our initial clients was facing this problem. He was having he was a pretty good guy. I mean, we are like brothers now. But the problem which he was facing was he was having a couple of long-term interns to whom he was paying stipend. Now he wanted to give them particular jobs. But there was this catch. How much money to give to them? Because since they are long-term members, what we did was we asked him to lay down their skill sets, the skill sets of the particular interns or the people who were working on the stipend basis, and ask them very politely if they're willing to expand since the business is expanding. So this was the problem with him. The business was expanding, but they were not expanding, thinking themselves to be the long-term team members. So you cannot just go ahead and fire your long-term team member because they have literally helped you getting onto that stage, and you cannot just fire them straight away. You need to take their points and arguments into consideration. So that is what we asked him to do. We asked him to talk to their team members face to face and taken a promise that if they want to stay in the brand, because they have helped the brand to get at this particular stage, they need to expand the brand. They need to expand the skill set. You helped reach the brand from 5 to 10 lakh. 10 lakh is a new landscape for us. All of us, for me as founder as well. We all need to reconsider our skill sets and we need to improve those skill sets. Are you willing to join hands with me? Are you willing to expand that? If they say yes, they are willing to do so. If they show some positive reinforcement, some improvements, you can increase their salaries, you can increase their stipends 100%. If they ask for a steep hike, give them a reality check, but give them the hike if worth it. If they ask for a very big hike, which has happened with me as well. So there were these interns who were working for 10,000 rupees, 12,000 rupees per month and asking for 30 to 40,000 rupees per month as their college is finished and they wanted to get a job which was way beyond industry standard. So I had to give them a reality check that these are the skill sets that you lack. If you are able to get those skill sets in a span of these many months, I can give you the salary which you are demanding. But for the meanwhile, we can find a midway. We can make the deal on 25,000 rupees. And that is what we did. We didn't give them 30 or 40,000. We gave them 27,000 rupees. You can, any point of time, you can give them incentives. Now, but if they are worth it, give them what they ask. Number 3 is ask for minor role swaps if they get bored. Most team members get bored, and if you are a small business, let's say even if you are doing below 15 lakh, you are a pretty small business, you can have that leniency of team members shifting their roles. You can have that margin of error. For example, someone who is posting on social media is getting bored of posting daily on social media can hop on to let's say influencer marketing, and they can handle influencers, and the influencer marketing person can handle social media, vice versa. So that is what you can do. Finally, what are the lessons that I learned along these processes, and what are the lessons we collectively learned along the particular process with our clients? Team is very important in expanding the business. So we started the video with a dilemma: is team important? And we'll end the video by saying that team is a very important aspect in expanding your business. Remember, a team member is the biggest ROI, not gold, not diamonds, not crypto, not your stocks, not your mutual funds, or not your physical assets, not your properties, but a team member is the biggest ROI. Remove members who are weighing the brand down. If you see a team member weighing the brand down, pulling the brand down, just remove them without thinking twice. That is the best thing that you can do. Number 4, keep a productive environment. There is nothing as people being burnt out if you are having a productive work environment. People burn out if you have flashes of productivity in your brand. But if you're consistent with your brand standards, if you are consistent with your requirements, then there is nothing as being burned out. People would enjoy working for your brand. And with that being said, you need to keep the environment of your particular brand pretty productive. Number 5 is push every member to grind. You need to push them as if they are solopreneurs or they are solo entrepreneurs. They are the leaders of their own particular team, of their own particular gig. That is how you showcase the world to them. That is how you'd make these people work. That is how you make a solid bulletproof team, an A-level team, or a team with the A-level players. So this was it from my end. If you are a business owner and are serious, mind you, are serious in growing your brand, and you have been on a lookout to scale your brand, expand your brand, we might be the right people for you. We have kept the process very simple. Just scroll down to the description, open the description. There's our Instagram link. Just open our Instagram, send us a DM, shoot us a DM. We'll get back to you, and we'll see what we can work with. That is it from my end. Hopefully you make a A-level team. Until then, meet you in the next one.